Yes, my best and most memorable competitive achievement was losing in the second round of the 2013 Reef El Salvador Pro. It was an ASP 6-star at the time. It was before the WSL. It was about 11 years ago, 23 years old, working really, really hard to get into those events. On a regional level, we all worked really hard, and they only took about maybe 120 of the best competitive surfers from around the world in those events. And so you would get a lot of the World Tour surfers that wanted to re-qualify dipping in, and then you would get all the best regional surfers from around the world trying to get to that World Tour level. And so barely got in, really excited, and the waves were meant to be pumping, which they were. In El Salvador, Punta Roca is one of the best waves in the world. It's on the World Tour schedule now. Before we took off, the person I was traveling with had a great idea. He was like, hey, let's pack each other one another's boards, just one of them, just in case our board bags didn't make it or whatever. Something happened and they got lost or whatever, we would at least have, one board in another person's bag, and there's no chance probably of both bags getting lost. Both bags did not get lost. However, my board bag was lost. And what I had done is I had packed a board in a friend's bag, but that was the worst board in my quiver by far. The heaviest, it was 5 fins. I was not used to it by any means. I didn't like it, but I ended up making my first round heat, put a couple decent scores on the board, and to be honest, I don't even remember one wave from that heat. Second round heat is the most memorable heat by far that I've ever had in my competitive experience, competing it for about 10 years. I remember getting sick. I think 80% of the people got sick on this event, the fever and chills and everything, and this was just the beginning of it. And I remember paddling out in that heat, feeling sick on a board I didn't like. The waves were pumping. With about 5 to 7 minutes left, I needed a 9-point score. Thinking to myself, feel sick, my board sucks, I traveled so far to get here, do I belong here? I just entered the spiral down effect. I remember getting out to the point, I had priority, and a 2-wave set came in, looked at the first one, it looked a little fat, I let it go. The first wave groomed the reef, the second one was nice and steep, and I was like, thought to myself, okay, this is it, give it all you can. And I remember taking off, did a nice first setup turn, and then the second turn felt really good, and then did another carve, and I think I finished with one more carve. And I remember kicking out, I have chills thinking about it now. Oh my gosh, did I just Hail Mary this thing? Swung for the fences. And did I just get a 9-point ride when I needed it? Did I just compete against some of the best surfers in the world, back against the wall, and did I just drop a score? This felt like this was my moment of being finally let into this higher echelon of surfing. Oh, proving it to myself that, oh, I'm here, I can do this. I can have my back against the wall, I can drop a 9. I started paddling back out, just like, oh, I can't wait to get the score. Score reads out 7.33. And I remember just my balloon being deflated. Wow, I gave it everything I can. But when I came in, I came across one of the judges, came across a former world champion, a lot of people that I respected. And I think number one in what made that experience so memorable was I felt like I zeroed out. I felt like I had my back against the wall. I was pretty down on myself. I was in my feels, I was feeling sick. After giving it everything I had, I got to the beach and people were like, hey, great job. Hey, you probably should have got the score on that. Hey, I think you should have got the score on that. You did get the score, you got underscored or whatever it may be. And regardless of being underscored or not getting the score, I think coming in after having your back against the wall and just having people around you is such an important concept that when you zero out and you have people around you there to pick you up, it's something that I love about surfing, and it was something that I loved about the competitive environment because we're all competing against each other for the same thing. There's only one winner, but because it's all relative and we're all doing the same thing, we all understand and have empathy for each other. And the second thing that I learned was that I could trust myself. No matter if my backup was against the wall, that I could actually swing for the fences without swinging out of my shoes. That I could actually throw that Hail Mary pass, it's not gonna be intercepted. Even though maybe I didn't get the score, I could be up against the wall, odds against me, and I can still deliver something of value. And I bring this up this week because I think there's so many parallels to surfing, and I think there's so many experiences that I've been a part of that parallel to my life. And whether you're a Grom competing, or you're a dad and your kids are competing, or maybe you're just in the business world, I think I'm learning to take my surfing experiences and apply them to my daily life. So I'm gonna show you the wave now. Let me know if I got the score.